All right, welcome back to Mad Maddie's, and this is First and Mad right here at 8100 West Sahara, Las Vegas, Nevada. Joined as usual, here's Floody and what's his face is gone.
Hey, I don't know what to say about that with San Fran. And what does he think? He's already clinched the number one spot and he can take the week off?
I guess so. Either that or he doesn't have anything to be embarrassed about. I mean, talk about embarrassment, it should be me. I mean, and
I wasn't going to go there this early, brother, but yeah, you guys are banged up and hurt. And the Baltimore show that maybe they should be the number one seed.
Oh, I think
we'll have a little guest guy in here a little later, talk to you, and we'll see how Dolphins and
we had a chance to talk
Bills.
Before the show, so I think we're both on the same page.
On.
The Dolphins, as you said, we're banged up like crazy.
It will be the AFC East, and then of course my team is out, and we all hate the Jets. So sorry, Jet fans. But we'll have some good conversations because there's a lot on the line, huge stuff on this line on this game.
Well, this game, whoever wins this game is the number 2 seed in the AFC.
Yep.
And had you told me that this was going to happen, say 6 weeks ago, when Buffalo was reeling, I would have said, "There's no way that Buffalo is going to be playing for this important of a game."
And Buffalo is red hot and on fire right
They're
now.
like Tampa Bay when they won the Super Bowl with Tom Brady. Remember?
Yeah,
we talked about that.
Right after they had
after the bye. They didn't lose a single game.
Brady must have done something in there and told the coach, listen, I'm taking over this team.
I heard that's what he did. He said, we're going to play this my way.
Championships, and we're going to play our way. They ran the table. They won, I think, 8 straight.
Yeah.
And they just ran the table, ran it through the Super Bowl, and wham, Mahomes, you lost that one. Right. So I don't want to hear it. I don't think Mahomes ever get back to another Super Bowl. That's a prediction.
Well, that could be. You talk about how hard it is to get into the Super Bowl. He ought to be very happy with what he's done. He's had a great career to this point. I'm not saying he's not going to get back to the Super Bowl, but look at a guy like Dan Marino. 1985 has a great season. We go to the Super Bowl. We lose his second season. Oh, no, his third season. No, his second season is the 84 season. So you get into that Super Bowl, and okay, so we lost. It was a bad loss. And we're like, hey, we're going to be back. Look at this kid. We're going to be back.
Close.
Dozens of times.
I don't know which one to go harder on. Dan Marino, one of the best quarterbacks, if not fast release, everything else going on. Had the Marx brothers back then and everything like that. Or the Buffalo Bills, and you go 4 straight Super Bowls and never win one. Sorry, Jim Kelly over there.
Not only that, they went 4 in a row and didn't win one.
Right. So we'll see. That's all coming from a nice Patriot guy.
That's kind of interesting, though. Interesting that our special guest tonight happens to be one of those Buffalo Bills fans going back
Triple B coming in soon. We'll see. But they're red hot. They're like a firecracker right now. And that's one of those teams we were talking about earlier that if they get on fire, you don't want to play them in the playoffs. No. And boom. No. This is a playoff game, folks. I don't care what you sit and
it's absolutely a playoff game. Number 2 seed is on the playoff
game. A week early for these two teams, without a doubt. And there's so much on the line. Does Buffalo want to stay if they get lucky? If they lose, does Buffalo want to stay in Miami and be the number 6 seed? Might be right back in playing again. And if Buffalo wins, they go the number 2 seed.
Yeah.
And Miami
either team wins their number 2.
Yes.
Miami's locked into the 6 at least.
Right. So if Buffalo wins, they're the 2. Miami drops to 6
and goes to Kansas City next weekend. And it's going to be bitter cold in Kansas City.
But you know what? That's the scenario and everything else. Maybe I think the Dolphins got to pick themselves up, scrape themselves off.
Well,
Tyree Hill better be ready and healthy for that
and
game.
Waddle.
And Waddle and the rest of the whole clan.
And get that offensive line back.
They need it. But first, to avoid going to KC, beat Buffalo.
That's it.
Good luck.
All right, I'm going to let you take over for a minute and introduce our special guest tonight, joining us on the panel in place of, what's his name?
I forgot already. Mr. Jesse Peck is out tonight. We know he's opening up his place down there at Durango Station. And it's like, but I'm going to bring in a good friend of mine, and you've met him a couple of times here, Brad. Yep. He's a Buffalo Bills fan. I call him Triple B. Buffalo Bill Brian. Come on in over here, brother, and talk a little football. You got it, sir. Good man here, folks.
Good, Brian. How are you?
Turn that into you, buddy.
Camera. But you gotta be careful this week around Brett, because you're talking about Buffalo being on fire. I think it's a tough week for the Dolphins.
Well, I should have kept my lighter over here. Yeah. Well, that's why you're sitting closer to it than all of us. Buffalo steak burgers down here at Mad Maddie's on Sunday night. We hope.
Why not?
You know what? I heard you guys talking, and it's true, because I'm a diehard.
Yep.
Obviously.
Yep.
I wrote the team off after Cincinnati. Now, it wasn't that I wasn't going to watch them, but I was trying to, keep the arms flame.
Yeah.
I've had this team.
You don't want to get your hopes up. It's like being a Dolphin fan the last 20 plus years.
16, 4 straight Super Bowl losses. I mean, you didn't know what to do. And it's just the way we got dominated again by Cincy. And now you guys are actually going through, the ambulance is coming to teams every other game for you guys. We had that early on. We lost on the 4th down play. Covering Hill, incomplete pass. White blows his ACL coming back, right? And then, we go to by the way, if anybody from the NFL commissioner office listening, stop these stupid games in Europe, now Brazil.
Oh, God. We could do a whole show on that crap in Europe.
Definitely. I agree with you.
And now they're going to go to Brazil next year.
It's ridiculous.
Oh, brilliant.
And who's going? Do we know yet?
I've heard Miami is one of the teams because Stephen Ross is always going.
Great.
Helps us out in that division.
But
it's the stupidest thing because you take away a home game technically from both of the teams that go.
Oh, that was a Bills home game against Jacksonville. And we lost Milano for the year, and we lost Daquan Jones until last week, which now he's back. It's huge. We're getting healthy. And like you said, I mean, Sunday night is the state's going to have
playoff game.
Let's talk about healthy, because Brian, when you got here, when you walked in tonight, we started talking about Floody. I want to ask your opinion on this.
Shoot.
What was Mike McDaniel thinking with less than 3 minutes to go, having Bradley Chubb still in the game in garbage time? And we all know what happened to Bradley Chubb.
So as some of you guys might know, I think McDaniel's your coach was having a couple of gummies. I got to be honest with you. Well, what the hell was he doing over there?
We got to check what's in that vape pen.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you right now, there was something.
I don't understand it.
I don't
understand it, but hey, he's the coach, right? Johnny Point.
And I told Brian, I've been taking some heat, not too much. There's a lot of Dolphin fans on Twitter that are a little over the top. You're going to attack fellow fans and tell them you get off the bandwagon, blah, 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 because they have a difference of opinion from you. All right, bullshit. That's not the type of fan that we need for any of the teams. We're all fans of the same team. Let's roll with each other. We ride or die with our team. And you don't pick on fellow fans just because you have a different agreement with or difference in opinion with them. So, but I've been taking some heat because I said, if this happens again next year and McDaniel mismanages players in a game time situation like that when he shouldn't have been in the game in the first place. Now, an ACL, if it's going to pop, it's probably going to pop. We talked about that too. Okay, so it was probably ready to go. It might have gone in the Buffalo game. But why did you have him in there? So am I wrong saying that he could be on the hot seat next year if we have significant injury problems and he pulls the same shenanigans and keeps somebody in longer than he should?
I mean, if it's longer than he should, yes. I mean, I totally agree with that. I mean, and
I mean, you can't help injuries. I'm not going to say it's his fault the guy got injured, but it was his fault the guy was in the game.
I mean, Burrow had the calf strain, like the second play of
preseason.
Yeah.
Training camp.
And they kept trying to play him. And I kept thinking the same thing. He's going to pop his Achilles just like Rodgers.
Yep.
But I mean, to your point about the Dolphins' injuries and leaving him in that long, I mean, even Tua. I mean, you have a guy that has had his pineapple crushed like
too many times. Yeah,
and I mean
that's what hurt our season last year.
Yeah. And, hey, the judo is great now, but he literally got hurt diving, or sliding. Trying to avoid.
He got glanced. a glancing
like,
blow
what are
on
we
the
doing
shoulder.
here? And
And
then
why was
even-
he in the game in garbage time?
And then
basically?
still, even after Tua came off the field, he still left the defense. Like Chubb got hurt after Tua.
Yeah.
And I'm watching the game with this, the Bills and the Patriots over there.
Yep.
And I'm looking at him going like, why is Tua in the game? And then we're talking about, and he's like, stuff like how he talks, it's
Yeah.
tough. And then we look up and I go,
Makes sense.
why is Chubb on the ground? And Brett's,
Did
our
you-
boy
did you
Brett's
hear
down
it?
there just going, I'm done.
Did you hear it?
Yeah.
It was terrible.
The
was-
blood curdling scream from
Yeah.
Bradley Chubb.
Yeah,
when he told
man.
that.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Makes no sense.
You know
Well,
what
I mean, when I saw it on Hard Knocks, and Hard Knocks, they didn't have the audio,
right.
but I saw the audio on a Twitter feed, and I mean, it brings tears to your eyes. This is a grown ass man
Mhm.
who could knock the crap out of all three of us at the same time in one blow, probably,
Yep.
right? And he's on the ground, just, I mean, screaming.
Agony.
Chris was at the game, and he said him and his mom, of course, they're a little closer to the field most of the time. They said him and his mom, they could hear him.
Oh, that's brutal.
It's sick. Yeah.
And then you got all the players are coming around him and they're saying prayers and they're patting him on the shoulder. And he told the trainers, he says, I can't get up. We're bringing the card out for you.
Yeah, and it's part of the game. And I hate to see any players ever get hurt on any teams,
Mhm.
even the Jets. You know what I mean? That's three.
Well, yeah.
Especially the Jets.
But you just don't. It's
Says that
part
with
of
such
the
a
game, and
facetious
it
grin.
happens, and you got to deal with it. And hopefully, you're deep in whatever position that you lose a guy at.
But the Dolphins are running out of depth.
Oh, you
But-
guys are in big trouble.
You know what I think is sort of an unspoken thing, and again, I'm purely speculating here, but that's something that could divide a locker room. If you think about it, where if the coach has you out there and you see, and Chubb was playing great. Like he had
Oh, yeah.
some big games against the
Well,
Jets.
he's had an
sack-wise.
all-pro year, 11
Exactly.
sacks,
and you
with
have
6 forced fumbles.
and you're seeing Tua come off, and then you're patting him. You're probably thinking like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
And then I mean, I sadly took a shot at the fire and Tyreek, but that's another distraction. So you
That
have
is a
all these
distraction.
things that are happening this week, and you know what it reminds me of last year when we talked about it before the show, where Buffalo was winning games at the end of the year. So I mean, we've gone now like 3 straight years of undefeated in December.
Yeah.
But last year had a different feel than this year. I even joke with friends of mine that are on our Bills thread where I'm tired of this team year over year winning and, like being the team of October. And it seemed back-to-back years, we beat Kansas City, we go on the bye, we believe everything we're reading. And it almost happened, it happened at the Dolphins because it was,
Oh, yeah.
we have the absolute, greatest offense coming in. They just put a 70 handle on Denver. We came in and we blew them out of the water.
Yeah.
Then we went
Yeah.
to England and we're like, we're the greatest team in the world.
And
then
you
we
laid it in.
Get out of our own way.
Yeah.
Too much fish and chips.
I think that
Apple
happens
pint.
every time you go.
The pints.
Come on,
Okay. Yeah. But you're right. You're absolutely right. And it's a weird game and the way it comes out and everything else. And you hate to be going in the direction the Dolphins are with injuries, but you like to be going in the direction the Bills are because they're playing outstanding ball right now.
Getting healthy.
Well,
Getting healthy is
as bad as it
huge.
is, let's have the injuries coming out of training camp. So by the end of the year, maybe we hang on in the early games. By the end of the year, guys are getting healthy when we need them, not we're losing them when we need them the most.
We had a guy die last year.
Yeah, I know.
Literally
DeMar
die. And
Yeah.
then we had to do the banquet like the media rounds where I saw more Deion Dawkins on ESPN, with tears in his eyes than anybody should see.
I
because they
remember
were
the night it
sending-
happened. Just everything completely shut down.
Yeah.
That's
I
all
mean,
they
it
talk
was-
about. Everybody was in shock.
Yeah.
We're all like, what happened to DeMar? I mean, I went and I bought one of his jerseys
Mhm.
because the proceeds from the sales of his jerseys were going to his.
That's
Yeah.
excellent. That's
Right.
great.
And then it's by the way, you guys playing 6 days because it was a Monday night game.
Yeah.
We had you guys.
Yep.
And then Hines with the 2 kick returns, unbelievable. Oh, by the way, and then there's the playoffs. Oh, and by the way, Cincinnati, they're done. Like they were, they said after, you didn't know during, but afterwards they were like, we had, the unfortunate, supermarket shooting in Buffalo before the season. And then we had
that's right. Yeah.
the punter. I mean, we'll say the details. Everybody knows off the team. McDermott was crushed with that. The snowstorms back to back,
and
it's
having
fun and great. Like,
all the
look
delays.
Look at them. Yeah, look at them getting all. I don't think they had a full week of practice because of the weather. And then obviously with DeMar and everything, they kept winning. but it was like, they say you are what your record are. If you went in that locker room, you might have seen a different team. Like, wow, everybody's just like beat.
Yeah.
Especially with the weather when you live in Canada and everything else. Asshole that I am.
Or like right across
where
the border
Buffalo is and north of the border.
Keep that up there. Where are you from again? I can't tell with your accent.
We speak American English, sir, and it's
Boston.
haven't you? Let's do some picks.
Some
And
picks.
we're gonna let Brian pick for Jesse,
He can
even
pick
though
for Jesse.
somebody left him
No.
a note on there that the Niners suck.
Niners suck.
Well, let's see.
Hey.
Both words are spelled wrong, so I know Floody wrote it.
I'm out on
And
this.
it's in crayon.
All right. Oh yeah, that was my credit.
All right.
That's where it got stolen.
But
from.
here's the thing now. In the last 2 weeks, we did the picks. All
Yes.
right. Jesse has taken the lead. He has 20 correct picks, and Floody and I both are tied at 19. So
Hooray.
tonight you pick shitty. Okay.
Well, I know Brian knows the sport very well.
I got
So-
one winner. I know I got one winner.
The Patriots over the Jets.
Yeah.
All right.
100%.
That's all three of us on that one. I'll take that
All
one.
right.
All right. Let's start with the first game on our slate, 1:30 p.m. on Saturday. This has got major playoff implications here too. Pittsburgh at Baltimore. Baltimore resting starters. I don't think they're going to rest everybody, but Huntley is going to start at quarterback. Lamar Jackson will not play.
Yes, and I saw that. Why would you play your guys when you already got the number one
Wrapped
seed
it up.
wrapped
You're
up?
asking the wrong guy.
I know.
He doesn't know.
He doesn't know. And that team and everything else. And you play a team like Pittsburgh.
My coach doesn't
Pittsburgh. Sorry, and they got nothing else to lose. And these teams play each other so
By the way,
fucking hard.
And they're going to
also-
play even tougher this week because
Yes.
Pittsburgh wants in and Buffalo wants to keep
And how
out.
about this? Well, 3
I
weeks
mean,
ago, we're
Baltimore
saying,
wants to keep
"Oh,
out.
Tomlin's out." Blah blah blah. They went in there in the playoffs.
I know.
Everybody,
I know.
sports media. I'm looking at you, Stephen A. Idiot.
Hey,
Stop.
Pat Kerwin, you can see the book here. We'll talk about this
Stephen A.
later if we get
He's
to
an
it.
asshole.
Pat Kerwin said the same thing. He says, you know what? Tomlin ain't going anywhere. They're going to give him another contract.
He's never had a losing season.
No,
I know.
they've had 3 coaches in the last
I know.
90
And if
years.
he
I
makes
mean,
the
come
playoffs
on.
again. He almost makes the playoffs every single year.
There's some.
If you get into the
know.
tournament, anything can happen.
Yeah, some legend just lost 13 games in this season.
Well, you know what? That legend, he'll let you know if he's going to leave or go. But till then,
Oh, by the way,
Tomlin ain't going nowhere. And probably Bill will say,
by the
We're
way,
on to
just
Cincinnati.
one
We're
final
on to
stat.
Cincinnati.
Just one
We're on to
final stat
Cincinnati.
on what's his name, Bill BB.
Yeah, you guys
BB.
all know.
Okay.
Triple B.
Whenever he
hated it
has,
for years,
whenever he's
especially
had a
Tommy.
quarterback that doesn't have the last name of Brady, he is, I think, 80-100. Okay, and
all
for
right.
crying out loud, Don Shula went 27-12-1 with a guy named David Woodley.
Dirty Dave.
I wasn't born yet.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I'm the old,
Tyrone
I'm
Woodley.
the old, tie your own shoelace, Tyrone.
That's about it.
Anyway,
All right,
I'm taking the Steelers.
I'm taking the Steelers as well.
Taking
in this
Baltimore.
game.
Right on, brother.
Right. That will knock Pittsburgh out of the playoffs right there.
It
And
would.
it may put somebody else in the playoffs.
And it could put
Oh,
somebody
look
else-
at that.
It helps your team if you
I'm not,
lose.
but honestly, I hope Pittsburgh wins and I hope Jacksonville wins because I want to do or die for our game. And I'll tell you why when we get to that pick. But I just think Baltimore, they should have beat Cincinnati in the playoffs last year with Huntley. So it's not a guy that doesn't have experience. And yeah, they might not be, but guess what? My family's in Baltimore. They hate Pittsburgh. So it's not like they're going to be out there. And if they can
they're
keep
going to
Pittsburgh
be
out of the
trying
playoffs,
to win. And John Harbaugh, of
it's
course.
a win-win-win.
Oh, yeah.
So
Well,
think about that.
with the majority of the picks, Floody and I going with Pittsburgh in this game. We marked Pittsburgh on the playoff machine. I don't know if you haven't had a chance to see this. This is the ESPN playoff machine. This is really cool. I've been working with this thing for the last like 5-6 years. since
Yeah,
I
but you
found
got
it.
Buffalo at 6, so it's broke.
Well, that's where
You got to reset.
that's where they are right
Comes
now.
in,
They're going to move up here, I think, by the
Everything's
end of our show.
blamed.
But with Pittsburgh winning right now, Pittsburgh. So if you take this off of there and we have Baltimore or no pick, see Pittsburgh's not even
Oh, I
in.
get
So if
you.
Pittsburgh wins,
Yeah, we're the 6.
they're into the 7th seed playing the Dolphins as it stands right now. Let's move on to
Oh.
Houston at Indianapolis. Both of these teams need this game.
All
this is-
three though.
yeah.
It's a triple
Winner of the
triple
playoffs.
header on the,
Yeah.
on the in the division.
Yeah.
Because if you go down
You got
further,
Tennessee
Jacksonville.
playing Jacksonville. Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
it's exactly what the NFL wanted, parity.
Parity.
Three
Both
teams,
teams 9 and
one
7.
team's going to make the playoffs as maybe what are we looking here? 9-7, 10-7, win the
Jacksonville's
division.
9-7.
Ooh, and they host a game, which is a bunch of caca
That's
too.
huge. You're going to host a game
They
with a
should
10
turn
win,
around and make the damn thing the way it should be.
just in an order of
I
victories.
don't give a shit whether you win your division.
So
or not.
no divisions.
No divisions. Let them go and rock and roll and say, all right, you won 16 games this year. You get to be the number 1 seed. I won 15 games. I get the number 2.
It'll be totally
and a
different
10-7 team should turn around and have to go on the road. But they're going to host a game, whoever ends up winning this. I'm looking here, and Houston's been a really, really big surprise with me.
Major surprise. If
Stroud
Stroud
was
is
there,
back in,
Yeah.
is he in?
there
Is he in?
for
I don't
this
know.
weekend?
He played last week.
He did play last
Yeah.
week. That's right. He
Yeah.
did play last
Yeah.
week.
I'm taking the home team Colts. Just because I don't
Just
think
because.
Stroud's 100%. And
He looked good last
take,
week.
I'm going to take the home team just because it's the home team. They both play indoors. It's
Well, I
both
think
pretty
with the
much
playoffs
same.
on the line, I think you probably got to take the home field advantage.
That's how I'm looking at this one. You know what I mean?
But the Colts, I picked the Colts 2 weeks ago, and they
Well, that's your Dolphin fan. Come on.
see the abuse I take.
Joe, kick him off.
Yeah. How we doing over there, Roman? All right, my man.
All right. Any
Behind the
comments so
cameras.
far? Because I forgot to tell everybody to push like, comment, share, etc., etc., etc.
I got 2 comments. First of all, the Brownies are coming up next, Steph, so don't worry about it. And
Yep.
who won that first game over there? Angel, one of our former guests. The first meeting between Schittsburg and the Gavins. I don't know what they are. Oh, just gave them a new name.
All right.
Sponsored tonight by Tito's.
I'm going Colts also in this game. I'm just gonna. I mean, I would love to take Houston. I just don't think. I only think
home field
magical
advantage.
season for them. I don't think they're going to do it on the road.
Okay.
Not when the playoffs are on.
Brian?
I got Houston.
All right. I like it.
What does it come down to in the NFL? Quarterback play. And
That's true.
I like Stroud. I mean,
I think Gardner
honestly
Minshew's going
have
to
no
light it up.
idea. Every time I watch Indianapolis, I'm just confused.
Yes.
I'm bewildered.
Their
I am-
fans are on that Minshew
Yeah.
bandwagon, though. I'll tell you that.
Well, I
They-
mean,
they
he
love
literally
the guy.
lives in the bandwagon, or
Yeah.
a wagon outside of a YMCA, like in Florida in the offseason. So
Players are
You're
doing
right.
I'm going to take the quarterback that lives in a house over the quarterback who's homeless. I'll take Houston. Yeah.
Good scenario on that,
All
but
right.
it is
All right.
Mr. Minshew's house.
And this game's pointless, right? The next one.
Pretty
'Cause-
much
yeah.
because Cincinnati, they don't even think they have a shot.
They don't.
And the Browns have locked up the number
The
one
Browns have
wild
locked
card.
up the 5.
The
The
number
Browns
one
cannot
wild card.
move out of the
Cincinnati's
5.
out because at 9-8, like Buffalo could be
Yeah.
out at 10-7.
Right.
This is
Yeah,
a
they're out.
game.
So
And
this
it-
is a
yeah.
game.
And-
Is this a tune-up game for
I'm gonna talk to
Cleveland
you
on
out
the
there,
road?
Joe Better. If you bet this game, you need to go to Gambling Anonymous because nothing really has to. You're just
I
betting
agree.
There's nothing on this
100%
game. You're
with you.
gambling. You're
Triple
betting
B.
this game because you're just a
Come down to
degenerate
Mad
gambler.
Matties. We'll flip coins for quarters over in the.
Yeah, in the corner. See which cockroach comes out of the corner. Wait, well, we got no cockroach.
I'm gonna say.
8100
I'm
West
gonna
Mass.
say. I think Cleveland's they're gonna rust some guys. Cincinnati, I think they're playing for pride. Since Cleveland didn't have anything to play for, they're locked into the 5. I'm just gonna go with Cincinnati, home team. They want to
Yeah.
go out with a win.
I hate to pick
Get to-
this
and get to
game.
9-8.
Sucks. But I'll probably go with the home team too. It kills me because I really like that Brownies defense, and they're going to
Oh,
give you guys
amazing.
troubles all year. They've been giving
Oh,
teams
we
trouble
get to
all
the
year,
playoffs, it's gonna be tough.
and
Well, I mean,
now with the resurgence of Joe Flacco.
Well, ESPN took like 4 minutes out of their coverage of the Lakers and Cowboys this morning.
Good
You know,
call.
which is
yes, yeah,
Basically 2
yeah,
hours.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
To talk about is the Browns the scariest team in the playoffs because
I
of
think they could be them or
under
the
the
Bills.
radar.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks
Yeah.
ago, we came down to
that
it pretty
defense
much,
is
and we
just-
had, which was
Just-
an awesome AFC Championship game. The
That was last
Bills
week when we did the
playing
playoff this
at
team.
Cleveland, right across the lake and everything else.
Yeah.
Bills making the AFC Championship game and playing Cleveland Browns. How crazy was that?
You know,
And then
Winner
we came
winning
up with
the
the
players'
scenario of
champ
Cleveland and
brand.
Miami
For-
for the
for-
AFC
for
Championship.
my brethren across the lake, You know, we refer to Cleveland as the mistake on the lake.
Right.
And Cleveland looks back over and says, a mistake on the lake.
Yeah.
If it did come down to those two teams playing for the championship
to
go to the Super Bowl, I feel terrible for the fan base that loses, but it will be amazing for that week of bars in those towns.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt, brother.
So your pick, I'm going Cincinnati. Or
I took Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, you going Browns?
Oh, yeah, no, I got Cincinnati.
All right.
The home team.
We'll lock that one in. That doesn't change anything in these playoff scenarios.
No.
Neither is this next game, I don't think. Detroit, aren't they locked in at this point now?
No, because if Detroit,
or can they move up to number 2?
What are the Cowboys? They have 4 losses.
Cowboys are sitting right now. I don't even have the Cowboys are projected right now. They're 11-5, so we have to finish out.
So if the Cowboys lose and Detroit wins, they're the 2 seed.
They'll be up in the 2.
So, you know,
but if the Cowboys win and Detroit loses and Philly loses, then all of a sudden the Cowboys would get the number 2.
And Minnesota, I mean,
Cowboys are in the 2 right now. So basically, the Cowboys are in the 2 right now. So they win.
They win their 2 seed.
Yeah.
Yes.
So and I don't, but I see Detroit winning this game. I don't see Minnesota having much of a chance against Detroit, especially as pissed off as Detroit is now after that game last week.
I really like the Detroit coach.
Weird line, right? I mean,
it is
3.5.
Yeah, it's weird.
But I got another one that to me is very weird. We'll touch on.
I'll take to win the game. I like Detroit. I don't know if they cover that goddamn spread though. That's that hook gets you.
I don't know about that spread. But without getting to the Cowboys game, Lions winning in the playoff machine, they've just jumped up to the number 2 temporarily. Moving on to Jacksonville, Tennessee. This got some implications in the AFC as far as seeding with the Dolphins, Bills, and Pittsburgh, and so on and so forth. I want to say Jacksonville, but Jacksonville's been one of those schizophrenic teams all year long. They're banged up. They're another team that's got major injury problems. And Tennessee, they love that spoiler role. I mean, had Miami taken care of business against Tennessee, we wouldn't even be talking about the
yeah. But you know what? And Grable, former Patriot guy, you guys all know him, likes to play that spoiler role. I just think that Jacksonville is going to win this game so that they can win their division and pull another one of those little bit of dealios. But Jacksonville is a team that scares me at all. I think Buffalo could beat them.
If you look at
I think the Dolphins could beat them.
If you look at Jacksonville early in the season, when they were getting all the wins, we talked about it earlier, right? With the Bills, with the turnover luck.
Yeah.
The Jacksonville, they were getting every turnover.
They were getting
every turnover margin, and got to 8-3.
And then in their losses, they were turning the ball over. Which
the
is
reason
the biggest
why
thing.
I like Tennessee in this game, because of everything you said with Vrabel, the spoiler, tough. I mean, it's a tough team, right?
Yes.
But I think the wild card here is Trevor Lawrence missed his first start ever. And for a guy that's gone 40-some games in a row, like never missing a start when he, had the ankle that everybody assumed, for him to come out of the game, he must have been really hurt. So I think it's a wounded warrior out there in a must-win game. But to your point, Floody, I'm with you. They don't scare me. They
don't scare me if they get to the playoffs. They don't scare me, but they scare me in this game. Tennessee, they just don't have it. I mean, this is one of those games.
Is Tannehill going again?
Tannehill could be.
Levis is
Levis is hurt.
Yeah, all right.
So,
but
he was fun to watch.
I still think
I'm going to say Jacksonville figures out a way to win this game. They're just healthy enough. They're I think good enough. I think they're going to win this one.
Looking a little bit at the spread, I know Brian's taking Tennessee. 3.5 on the road. I think Jacksonville wins by a field goal.
Those 3-point road dogs are always the ones that you get sucked into.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, that team should kill them. And then you're going, how did they lose by 12? 4 field goals.
Now, temporarily on this game here, Jacksonville wins this game. It's shuffled up our seedings a little bit because the Colts have now moved into the 7th seed. Buffalo still locked in at 6. Jacksonville moves into the 4th seed as the division winners in the South. That'll bring us to
Skip next. Bonanza versus Green Valley.
The only problem with you're right.
Patriots.
He's right. Both teams suck, and New England owns them.
This
and
is
if
the
they're
Suck
playing
Bowl.
anything for Mr. Belichick to stick around, but I don't think Dolphin fans or Bills fans will take.
I'm not taking the Jets. I can't.
The
I have a problem against taking the Jets. I have to go.
Whether the Pats cover the spread, I don't know. That's another one of those Patriots kick. Vinatieri comes out of the stands and kicks a fucking field goal, and they win 3-0
To Fireman
or
Ed,
6-3.
the only Jets fan that anybody knows of.
Yeah.
Congratulations on the 12th straight year of winning the offseason.
Yeah.
And boy, did they win the offseason. Because because he told me he watched Hard Knocks, the preseason Hard Knocks, which I refused to watch. And they were. You were right. They were a
Charles Barkley. Simply
we didn't
terrible,
even need to play the games this year because the Jets, hands down, are Super Bowl champions.
Well, I love when they said, "Oh my God, when you add one of the greatest quarterbacks ever to this team, it's a Super Bowl." You mean the quarterback that couldn't beat Detroit at home to get into the playoffs last year in Lambeau? Exactly. Yeah, take him.
Yeah.
Hey, congratulations. He's 40 next year and doing a great job on the McAfee show. Stop talking about
my God. Yeah, please shut up.
Call for you, clown.
Congratulations not making that list either with Jimmy Kimmel. I'm kidding.
I'm not on that list either.
Yeah.
All right.
You been on that Lolita Express one?
Yeah. It's a great gummy.
All right, let's move on to Atlanta at New Orleans. This game is the next one up on the slate. This is the second to last early game on Sunday. I gotta go New Orleans. These teams. I can't figure these teams out either.
I don't get it.
Now there is some information I just heard this week. It does not look like Arthur Smith is going to lose his job as the head coach in Atlanta, nor is Dennis Allen going to lose his job in New Orleans. So I got to go home team here.
That's where I went.
What's Carr's mood? Because if you watched him. Like
Carr's move, going down to the ground, get sacked. That's his best move.
I mean, he'll come to the sidelines yelling, screaming. He's half in tears. Like this guy is like an emotional roller coaster. If they can just do an even keel, get it to Olave, throw it to Kamara out of the backfield, and play good defense, which they've done. I mean, they haven't given up a 275-yard passer since I don't know what year. But it's like then they'll just make a killer turnover. Another killer turnover, but yeah, we only talk about Josh Allen's turnover.
No. That's the mental mistake.
Very good point,
and with that pick, New Orleans temporarily moves up into the fourth seed.
We got a couple more coming down there.
Tampa Bay, Carolina.
Well, there it is. There's the next one.
So
Carolina doesn't have any gas.
They have no gas.
And the quarterback, they have one great
when
game.
Did they have?
No, well, they have gas, but not the kind of that they need for this.
Probably real ugly kind of game, but somehow Tampa Bay pulls the win out on the road.
And is this Tampa wins they're in, or is this?
Well, let's see.
I think
I'm going to hit it right now.
I think it does.
Yep. Tampa Bay takes the NFC South.
Yeah,
and they
another division
4
of 3 teams battling that parity shit.
At 9-8, Tampa Bay wins the NFC South.
We are currently, according to the guys in the desert, Mr. Cornegie and friends.
Yes,
we are the third favorite to win the Super Bowl right now. And this team has to beat Carolina to get into the playoffs and win their division.
Yeah.
And we may not get into the playoffs by a loss. Like, that's how crazy this year is. Right. I mean,
it's what we talk about every week. It's parity. This is what the National Football League wanted. They've got it.
They want 8 wins at home, 8 losses on the road, and everybody ties in Brazil, right? That's what they want. That's what they want.
That's it. Now, what do you think? We came up with this idea a couple of weeks ago because it'll get rid of all this talk about teams tanking to get the number 1 pick, right? So the 2 worst teams at the end of the year, they got one more game. It's the Toilet Bowl. And the winner gets the first pick. So now you have something to play for.
Well, in this case, does Chicago get to play for in lieu of Carolina?
Because they got the pick?
Because they probably don't want them tanking to go to, you know what I mean? I mean,
you'd have to figure that out.
Should Arizona and the Super Bowl champion New England Patriots play a game to see who plays the winner of the tanking and the Carolina and Chicago?
It's a great idea. The NFL will probably do it because they'll make money.
Thank you. He's right.
We'll get the U.S. Army to come in, and we can call it the Tank Bowl.
And let's start doing games too. Why not? And Wednesdays.
It's coming, boys.
I know.
It's all about the Benjamin.
If they can squeeze in an 8th day, they'll play
this a game that the line, all of it, it's confusing.
This is the pride of the NFC Norris division, right?
The Norris.
The Norris out there, CRISPR.
This is the pride game, but it's in Green Bay. This is on the frozen tundra, and it's going to be cold.
man, Green Bay playing a last
nothing.
game of the season
In January.
at Lambeau to win and you're in. Wait a minute. Doesn't this sound like something last year that El Salvador, Aaron Rodgers couldn't get done?
Nope.
That's the thing. Detroit came in and said, and with you.
I know.
Chicago
And this is
would
Jordan
love
Love. I mean, Chicago would love to knock them out.
Sure they would. But you know what?
I don't
They're not
think
going to get
Chicago's
anybody
got it.
hurt. And it's going to be another one of those ugly games. And I like the Pack.
I got to go with the
Home
Packers
team.
in this game as well.
Home
And
team.
that does
advantage.
put the Packers right now
And-
into the 7th seed.
crazy.
All right.
Yep.
Denver
Jordan Love.
playing against our Raiders right here in Las Vegas.
I
This is another
personally,
one of those.
I'd personally sit there. It doesn't mean anything to either
So-
team. Neither one's going to playoffs.
Well,
I think the team is going to play for.
Well, let's name this the Stidham Bowl, right? Because
Yeah.
last year,
I think
Yeah.
this is the Antonio Pierce.
but
That's
last
what I
year-
think.
last year they bench Carr the last 2 games
Yeah.
of the season. Stidham comes in. Now in Denver, let
got-
Russ go, really. And
Yep.
now Stidham.
He's done anyway.
Oh, he's gone.
When they done
benched him,
since
that
he left
was it.
Seattle.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I just think these as guys that play, I really think they like Antonio Pierce.
They love
and
him.
I think they want to see him stick around. They
Crosby's
might
come
go
out
out and play
in
that game
favor
a
of
little
him.
harder than Denver. And Denver says, fuck it, we're coming here to go gamble anyways. But
Devontae
it's
Adams
Vegas,
has come
baby.
out
It's
in
Vegas,
favor
baby.
of Antonio Pierce. Crosby's come out in supporting Pierce. Every guy, I think, to a player, I think they all want AP.
And wasn't it a couple of years
Well,
back?
Davis just did this.
the special teams guy
Yeah.
that they all wanted and got.
Yes, and he
Mustafa,
got them to
Rich
the
Mustafa.
playoffs. Amazingly, the faders,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
He got him
they
to the
let him
playoffs.
go.
And
And Mark
Davis-
Davis is going to remember that lesson, hopefully.
Yeah, because
And-
you can't remember who his fucking barber is because the goddamn haircut guy got a bowl chop. Sorry there. Fucking barber. Mo Howard of the Stooges. You're killing me, brother. I'm telling you.
with all that being
All
said,
that money.
the Raiders win this game and standing on the sideline week 1 next year, Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Mark it down.
Wow.
If he doesn't go to the Chargers.
almost got to agree with the brother only because Davis will turn around
They'll
and trump
do-
anybody else other than Jerry Jones. It's money.
Twice now.
I'm hoping he's
Twice
learned
now.
his lesson, and I'm hoping he doesn't.
I
do
mean,
that.
there's
You got to figure the caveat with Harbaugh, the NFL is going to say, no, not so fast. You
Well-
got problems with the NCAA, boy.
yeah,
You're not
but
coming
the
into this league, you're
NFL
gonna
can
have to sit.
squash those
They can
problems.
squash it.
They'll squash them, everything else. The dealio is there's a handful of teams, maybe the Bears, maybe the Colts, because they play for those two teams,
I think
maybe
the
the
Bears.
Chargers and the
I think
West
Eberflus
Coast
is out.
Lights
Really?
when he
I think
did
he
and
is.
everything else.
Although I
But-
have seen some rumors that he could stay. The players actually,
They
for
love
some
it.
reason,
The
they love
defense is actually fine. Since they got Sweat, which at the time I'm like, why would they make a trade acquisition of one of the top ends out there? Guy's a monster.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they're
And
going to
it's
have
going.
that whole issue of what do we do with the number 1 pick? Because I think there's more pressure on, they passed on Mahomes for Trubisky.
Yeah.
Good boy. They missed on all of these guys. And now even if Fields is a guy, if Williams goes on or whoever, I know who they're not taking, Drake May, because a quarterback that looks like they have all the talent in the world from North Carolina, they will not go down the
Maybe.
Trubisky route. No, which I think they'll do it.
I might even go
They'll
back
do
to LSU quarterback. How many millions did he get? He was bigger than I am. Holy shit. That's pretty round
But
a
neither
rebound.
one of you are as big as Vince Young. You saw him in that game. Wow.
God.
Wow.
Anyways, and another game that means something for somebody and nothing for another team.
Does it though? I mean,
Well,
does this really mean anything? I'm not sure.
to the
Doesn't-
Beagles?
yeah,
Well, we're all probably going to pick them to win.
I'm picking
let's
Eagles.
wait. Let's first put it in.
Let's put it in. Let's
Yeah.
see what
And where they go. They end up winning their division, do they
There
not?
they are. Eagles. Well, they're going to win the division. Yeah. That'll put them into the 2nd seed with a win.
Right.
And then let's
And-
go over here and find the 49ers. If the 49ers were to lose, they're still the number 1 seed. So
Right.
this has
Okay.
nothing.
Oh, yeah.
So my deal, looking at that is if they got it sewed up, but if they lose and Dallas wins, does Dallas win the
If
division?
Dallas wins and Philly
Yes.
wins, Dallas
No.
is in the division.
There
Dallas
you
would
go.
win the division
they
and
both
Detroit
win.
becomes the number 2 seed. So Philly's got a lot
Philly's
on the
coming
line
to
with
play.
this one.
Then,
Philly's gonna
well,
come to play.
and I know the Giants played them about 2 weeks ago,
And it was,
Yeah.
and it was a tough game for
Tough
a little
game.
while.
Yeah.
And I know that.
Well, and then the Philadelphia, and then the Eagles
Who
got
doesn't
to
hate
Arizona
Philly?
last week
Tommy
at home.
Cutlets and put in Tyrod.
And since they did that,
I love Tyrod.
Giants have been playing very well.
Tyrod broke our 200-year streak of a playoff drought. He just gets it done. He's the classic game manager.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not gonna. He could throw one deep ball, but he's gonna throw it when you can. He's not gonna.
And he
throw it
will
double
take
coverage.
off and run when he
Take off
has
and
to.
run, but he'll protect the ball.
Yes, he
He's
will.
a good game manager.
I
He'll
agree.
keep
on
him
it.
in that game.
He'll
They
keep
will.
him in that
Yeah.
game, but I think Philadelphia's got way too much to play for. I got to go with Philadelphia. That'll keep them right now at the number 2 seed. That locks them up for the NFC East.
Yep.
No matter what happens
Yes.
in the other game. So
Unanimous Philly.
we haven't gotten to the 49ers game yet. Let's get to a game that really means nothing for either one of these teams, really more pride than anything else. That's Seattle at Arizona. But Arizona coming off of that surprising win at Philadelphia last week. 38-35. Did you see that coming?
No, nobody did.
Nobody
Nobody
did. Come on,
And I
the
think
books didn't, and nobody
where
saw it
You
coming.
look at the records last week and even this week, but Kyler Murray's playing for his job.
A
and
job.
He's
somewhere.
crying out for another
if
team. I don't
it's
even
not
think
with
he's gonna be
Arizona, he's playing for somewhere.
Yeah.
And I think Green Bay's going down there and all deflated. And I think one of the birds are going to win this game.
I believe it's
Dynamite
Green Bay Birds.
Dynamite dropping.
Yeah,
Monty.
thank you, man. All right. I'm taking the
insight.
card. I'm actually
I'm
taking
going to
the
take the
card at
Cardinals
home.
in this game also.
At
I
home.
think that the wind has come out of out from under the wings of the Seahawks. So
Yep.
I'm going to go with Arizona in this game as well.
I'm gonna go Seattle.
All right.
For tickets. Look, Seattle's a confusing game because all of a sudden they look like they got it together. They win and they're in. They lay an egg against Pittsburgh, as you would say.
Yep.
But I don't see it. Arizona winning 2 in a row. That's above their.
I think,
above their
I
pay
think the
grade.
difference in this game is Tyler Murray.
Oh yeah.
If he has a good game, odds win. If he doesn't,
Got no faith in
the
Gino
sea
pizza
chicken,
rolls.
he's done too.
All right, let's get on to Kansas City playing in Los Angeles against the Chargers.
Now it means nothing for KC. Are they resting people?
I would
Yes,
imagine
think
that
they
they are
are.
because I think
I've
they
heard
are
they
locked
are.
I
in.
mean,
and
they've
everything else.
rested the
I
wide
don't-
receivers all year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think that probably gives the Chargers a chance to steal this game, but it is KC.
Now,
Are they playing in for a little pride?
No, I was scared to death of that Bills San Diego game because when you have that change in coach, Raiders went
You never
through
know
it with
what
Pierce.
happened. Well, look what happened with
Yeah.
the Bills when you fired Worski.
Oh yeah, but this guy, I don't know, like Ward Cleaver, whatever this guy's name is, that and like I saw him at halftime. I'm like, we can't lose to this guy. Like he looks like he was the defensive line coach for Floody back in like Notre Dame Preparatory in 1958.
There it is.
No, the high school you got kicked out of, not the school you
all
couldn't
right.
spell.
I couldn't get into. I agree kind of with a lot of that shit. But if I turn around and look at this game here, and the spread scares the shit out of me.
These lines,
There's nothing
no idea.
here for Kansas City to do but sit everybody.
Yeah.
You're locked in. You can't go up. You
Yeah,
can't
you
go
can't go
down.
up,
It
can't go
doesn't
down.
mean nothing to them. Does the Chargers come in who really, really suck and everything else?
Well,
And is Kansas City winning the division at 10-7?
Oh, they've already won it.
they've already won it.
So it's so fucking ugly. Excuse the F-bomb, Roman, but I think the charge.
I'll take the Chargers in this game. I don't know why. I Kansas City
whole
haven't
field
played good
once
all
again.
year.
No.
I'm looking at the home field. They're at home. Does
Yeah, they're
Kansas
already
City
locked
really
into
want
a
to
home
be there?
game.
No.
And you know what? You know what's going to be stupid is that KC has not gotten anything going on offense, like you said, Brad, all year.
Yeah.
And then they said after their latest loss to the Raiders, we'll get it figured out. And now you're going to rest. So,
Yes, how are you going to get it figured out?
We'll turn it on in the playoffs.
Playoff
In the
game.
walk-on,
yeah.
and all your
Okay,
walk
good luck.
throughs.
It's not the NBA.
Good
the
luck with
NBA, you
that.
can turn it on for the playoffs.
And
not
you're
the
going to have a
NFL.
team coming in there that's really going to want to kick their effing ass. Fucking ass. Fuck that little crybaby.
We're here at Mad Maddie's. His name is Floody.
8100 West Sahara, where the beer is cold, so is the brother. Let's roll on.
Rams at 49ers. 49ers, everything's locked up. I mean, they got it. So
Right.
they're
And
resting.
you say, guys,
And they're still a 3.5-point favorite on a team
because
that
they,
had to win.
they
are.
own
Oh, yeah,
that. They
yeah.
own that. Owns. They owns that.
The
They
division.
own that team.
Oh yeah,
I
they've
think-
had their
I think
they've had their
San
number
Fran's
for
beaten
years.
them like 8 straight in a row or 9.
Yeah.
This could be the one that Niners just sit everybody. You don't got nothing else to play for. Don't hurt nobody.
Don't hurt
Let
anybody.
McCaffrey
Take
get
that
some rest. Let
advice
Debo
there,
get some rest.
McDaniel.
Let Purdy get
To your
some
point
rest.
about that, the resting, I think, and I'm not trying to pick on you, Brad. Not we got 2 more games before I do that. But I think watching the end of that Dolphins game, a lot of these teams are going to be like, you know
I ain't
what,
taking a chance.
like don't care.
Yeah.
Like Harbaugh's never been the coach. So like, oh, we will play. We have to be right by the game. And it used to be that, like, hey, this is a playoff, implication. Like you got to play your guys.
Yeah.
Now it's like we're good.
We're good.
You can
we're
have
good.
it.
We'll wait
see
till
in
the
3 weeks.
tournament.
Yeah,
Good
we'll be
point,
fine.
Brian. Very good point.
I'm going to take the Rams in this game just because, like you said, I think the 49ers are going to rest everybody, which is what they should do, and not have any
Does it
ACLs.
move the Rams a little bit? 7, 6, 5.
Well, actually,
Wild
let's
card. I
see.
think it does.
If the Rams pull this game out, let's see, where is that game? Where's that? Oh, right here. Yep. Nope. Oh, yeah. Sorry. 6 seed.
So they move from the 7th to the
They
6th.
move from the 7. Dallas ends up.
you know
Dallas
what?
settles into the 5th seed for now.
I-
Well, I think that would. I think Dallas might be locked into that.
I'll
5th
take
seed
the Lambs also.
No,
unless
we're going to get
They would
them.
move up.
They're going to win.
Yeah,
That's
they're
where
locked
they
into that
L
fifth.
the Lambs.
because they can't win the division. Dallas is
Mother Goose
locked
shoes.
in
It's
with
a
the wild
wild
card.
game, and we all pick the Rams, and we watch the game. We
Yeah,
go,
we got
"Oh, we're
damn.
making it." The Niners are still the Niners.
Yeah,
And
the
they
49
waxed
yeah,
them
the Niners are
34 to
well, and
10.
I said it, I think, on one of our first shows. I said the Niners are one of those teams, and the Eagles also, which is what surprises me. They're one of those teams like Kansas City. Another thing that's surprising is they're one of those teams that's got great talent, top to bottom, on that roster on both sides of the ball, which is very, very rare to be able to put together, especially with salary cap, and then to be able to hold on through injuries. We talked about it. Look at the Dolphins, the injury situation. If the Dolphins were healthy, they'd be right there on the top. But they're not healthy. They're a walking mash unit. I called the team's headquarters this week, and they answered the phone. MASH 4077. So, yeah, they're messed up.
You're going to get mashed again this week. We got one more to go.
Dallas,
It
Washington.
should be a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Well, I'll take that.
I'll take Dallas. Move
And
on.
here we go, folks. Here we go. Buffalo and Miami for all
All
you
right, that's our
listeners
show
out
for
there.
this week. We'll see you
No. We're going to keep rolling here. I'm sorry
don't
you're
get
a
out
little
of this.
banged up, but
Sit down, Brad.
yeah. Have at it, Brian.
I wish I'd have brought the damn ghillie suit tonight.
So we're making a pick here.
We're going to talk this
Well,
game up.
We're going to talk
Because
this game up
is
a
the
lot.
last game of the season. This is a playoff game, whether you want to like it or not. I didn't even think they had a Sunday night football game. They do. And
They flexed this to
Well,
make this
good.
game
Was the
good.
Yeah,
for
we
TV.
do, yeah,
Good.
absolutely. Now I'll start with this one.
There we
Because I have a
go.
little bit of a skin in the game. So, as Fernando would say, it's for the whole enchilada of the AFCs.
Holy
Now, what absolutely concerns me more than anything is 5:20 primetime game. Because if you look at Buffalo all year, for some reason, opener against the Jets, Monday night game,
Yeah.
they look terrible.
Yeah. Now remember though, these times are Eastern, or I mean, are Pacific. So this
yeah,
is an
Yeah,
East
yeah,
only.
but it's prime
So the
time. It's
nighttime
Sunday
and
night
prime
football.
time.
Only game
Sunday
on
night,
the
it's
schedule.
prime time.
Everybody else is done in the other.
Yeah, this
Two
is the
teams
final
left.
game.
Yeah.
This is
And it is
basically
a
making this the
playoff
marquee
game,
game
folks.
of the week.
Look at
8:30
it, no other
Eastern,
way.
5:20 here local for us, 2:20
Yep.
to our friends in the Hawaiian Islands.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Mele Kaliki Maka.
Speaking of, we'll be watching Tua Pineapple himself Sunday night.
Whose
But
pineapple
Buffalo.
has been healthy this year, by the way.
Yeah.
So,
Who
he's the
talked
only
about
guy that's
last year.
Yeah.
Who rang his bell.
Yeah,
Buffalo
'cause
did.
he's
the
like
first time.
he's
then
like Charlie
Green Bay the
Murphy
next
doing
time.
that judo with them kids.
Yeah.
So, but Buffalo primetime games. I mean, they looked weird against Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Came down to a Hail Mary that fell next to hold on. You had the Giants, which we got they missed the flag for sure on Taron Johnson. And then he got called for 19, I think, in the next game is made culpable by the league.
Makeup.
Cincinnati, we got the doors blown off of us.
Yep.
San Diego, we have not looked good
On prime
at
time.
all in
No.
a primetime
No.
game.
Nope.
So everything is pointing.
Well, and you're
to-
also 3-4 on the road.
3-4 on the road. I mean, we had but if you think about one thing, right? Buffalo's 10-6. If we stop mac and cheese from going 80 yards, if we don't have 45 people on the field against Denver for a field goal miss,
Right.
and I forget.
Well, and if you hadn't had the stupid game in the opener,
I'll give you one more. I'll give you one more. If it butts, it's awful.
well, actually, no, you won the opener.
to
Sorry.
beat
You
a
won the-
no, we
team.
lost.
Awful
Oh, that's right. The
difficult.
Jets did win. That's right. That's
I
right.
say it every week. Awful difficult to beat a team twice in 1 year. Now you waxed Miami the first time up
At
in
home,
Buffalo.
at home, which
Right.
we always do.
Right. Just the injuries got a lot to do with it. It's killing the Dolphins.
We're done.
And
We're done. You look at our defense. Our
think
offense was
Buffalo
already
is-
decimated.
Buffalo's chilling and rising, and Cream rises to the top, and they're getting healthy and rising, and they're on fuego.
I hope.
4 straight.
I hope
Make it 5, folks. I hate to do that this way
for not just getting in, because honestly,
it's
if Pittsburgh loses or the Jags lose and Buffalo loses this game and gets
there's
in,
a lot of if and buts in there.
but we're looking at
You'll know
the
Pittsburgh
window,
on Saturday.
right? The window for this team.
Yeah.
Because salary cap hell next year for Buffalo. So this is going to be the last opportunity for this team. So I look at this game and I'm going to pick it this way. If you can't go and beat up, or not beat up, but just beat a beat up Miami team on the road,
You don't deserve to be in the playoffs.
then guess what? You're not going to go 3 in a row as a wild card and make a run anyway. So in my case, I hope it's for everything. And if we lose, it was a fun ride as it always is. Very emotional high, very emotional low. With that being said, where I'm going to pick is I have 3 rules that I live by. I live my life a quarter mile at a time. It's all about family, like Dom Toretto, and nobody
Nice.
circles the wagon.
I like that.
The Buffalo Bills. Who's the greatest guy on the show?
Chris Berman just
I got
called him
Buffalo.
up. And
I
down.
think
I'm with
I
you.
just
27.
threw up in my mouth a
17.
little bit.
Good call. That's not a bad. That covers the spread.
All right.
And yeah,
Here's my take on this game. So these numbers are a little skewed because of the 56 points that was pasted on them last week at Baltimore. Miami has given up on average this year 23.1 points a game. Buffalo has only allowed 18.6. Miami's offense is so banged up. Our defense is banged up. We're going to be without Xavier and Howard. Our only possibility, I think, on defense is that our front 4 plays really good. They're going to step up. Jerome Baker's coming back at middle linebacker. You're going to be able to have Van Ginkel, who's having a fantastic year.
Amazing.
Okay, you throw Cater Kohu, you put him over at corner, put Nick Needham in the slot, play a nickel coverage. You got Javon Holland, he's healthy, and you got Jalen Ramsey, but you got to put Ramsey on Stephon Diggs. You don't put Ramsey on the best receiver that Buffalo has, you ain't got a chance. And who's going to – Dawson Knox, is he
Oh yeah, he's been back.
Okay.
The D&D.
– so he's
boys,
healthy?
yeah.
Who's going to – that's my thing. Which one of those linebackers is going to be able to cover Dawson Knox when he comes out for a reception?
as the Dolphin guy, no weather, beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful.
In
And
South
Buffalo will
Florida,
be in the sun.
Miami.
Well, it won't be any sun.
Yeah,
by the time you kick off, but-
no. I got a feeling the kid Allen's going to step it up one, and he's going to pick you guys.
Well, we're
apart.
we're
And
decimated.
you're
on both
decimated
sides of
and
the
everything
ball.
else. Kind of like
But
this.
if
I
Buffalo
like this.
loses this game, they're out. Based on all the picks we've done
And
so far,
I don't
they're
think
out
Buffalo's
of the
losing
playoffs.
this game. They're on a roll. They believe the coach has probably been talking to them. Look, this is a fucking goddamn playoff game. You gotta win this
And that's
game.
Buffalo's mentality since they
Yes.
carried that into
And that
Philly.
blue collar, hard working
And that's
fucking
another
team.
one. Sorry, with the Philly game. A 59-yard field goal at the end of regulation in a rainstorm. Of course he makes it.
Yeah.
You can't make a 47-yard. Isn't it amazing that a 47-yard field goal in Super Bowl 25 by Norwood wide right was like, I can't believe they attempted something.
I was at that
long.
game.
Are you still here?
Yeah.
Can we
And
dump
I'm
you in
pulling
Boston
you.
Harbor?
With the T.
But a
I
59
pulled
yard
to
in
the
the rain.
top.
I mean, it's just kickers right now are crazy. But I think the key for you guys to win this game is like last week with your D tackles. If you can get up the middle,
If
and
we
kinda
can
get that
contain,
pressure on Josh, and
we
he
got to get
doesn't
pressure
come out
and
with
contain
him,
him.
you won't look good. But I'm with you, Flood. I really think that.
Well,
Josh
I'm
will
actually,
down.
I hate to say it, I had to go against my Dolphins. I don't see any chance.
Are you throwing a score out there on that one? Because I heard Brian.
I'll say 28-23.
28-23. What did you say? 27-17?
27-17, yeah.
And I'm going 31-17 Buffalo.
Yeah. We got just a few minutes left in this week's show. Let's get to the playoff matchups that as we have them right now.
Okay.
We have 6 games that
Yep.
will be played next week, 3 in each conference. Let's start with the number 7 seed at the number 2. That's Indianapolis at Buffalo.
Seriously,
Yeah, really seriously.
Yeah.
I'm with him.
That's why I started with
I'm with him.
I mean,
Indy
bumped-
might have a slight chance if it was in Indy. Not.
If it was on the moon, they might have a shot.
Yeah, not.
Buffalo
I'll
takes
take
that game.
Buffalo on that
Buffalo
one.
takes
Yes. Yeah, and they're on a fucking roll, folks.
All right. Now, here's a game, folks. I think if Miami has any semblance of getting some guys back and getting, I mean, obviously we're not going to get Chubb back. We don't have Jalen Phillips. But if we get a couple of those guys back, maybe Xavier Howard comes back by the time we get up in the playoffs. Kansas City, Miami in Kansas City. I think Kansas City, we talked about it. Kansas City has not played like the Chiefs that we are used to seeing. Kansas City's beatable. Miami's got the talent. If they've got enough of their guys coming back and they're healthy, Kansas City could walk in there and beat them. Miami could walk in there and beat them.
Where's that game at?
That's going to be in Kansas
Arrowhead.
City. That'll be at Arrowhead.
Miami
It's gonna
there.
be really cold. Chris is not
Damn,
wanting to
man.
go to this game.
What's
Chris,
the only loss I think Mahomes has had at the home in the playoffs is to a guy named Bill Brady.
Yeah, something
Yeah,
like
Bill
that.
Bob Brady.
Was it Tom?
no,
Tommy.
Greg Brady.
Peter
Oh,
Brady.
yeah. Peter
Bobby
Brady.
Brady.
Yeah. Don't
Actually, it might have been Marsha.
Don't forget Mike. That was the old man. He kind of liked it from behind, but fuck that. It's about. It's too bad you're playing at. You're gonna lose to Buffalo, and it's too bad
Then
you're
I got to
playing
go
at
to the
KC.
cold. Kansas
It's too
City.
bad you're playing at KC because if that game was in Miami, I'd give you a punch boxing. That's tough. I know Tyreek would like to go back there and give
I'm
it to
going to
his
say
old
Miami.
team.
Miami has a shot. I think Kansas City wins it just because it's in Arrowhead. It's going
That's
to be
why.
cold.
Yeah.
I'd
I'll
have
give
to say
KC,
Kansas
and I
City.
hate the.
But Miami would have a shot now if they get a little bit healthier. If they're just not healthy enough to go this week.
Buffalo knocks the snot
Cleveland
out
at
of
Jacksonville. That's a no-brainer. to me.
Uh,
Cleveland's going to walk in there and
Cleveland.
mop them
you.
up.
I think so.
If-
That
if-
defense is for sure.
If
for
Jacksonville
real.
gets in and Lawrence is even remotely hurt, Cleveland will make
Cleveland
them
will
all the
mop
way
them
hurt
up.
with
That
that.
Flacco
and
got
they'll put
something to
together
prove.
a defensive scheme that Lawrence will have doo-doo in his pants because they do that. Cleveland puts out those things.
They do
And they got a
that.
scam and a scheme. That's why I can't wait to see the AFC Championship.
I will
game.
say the wild card of Cleveland, though, is that I think it's funny to me. Again, Homer over here, right? Josh Allen has 4 touchdowns or whatever in a game, and he has an interception. They talk about the interception. With Joe Flacco, they are really going and dismissing, like against Chicago when he had 3 interceptions.
Mhm.
And they're like, but he
Yeah.
had 300 yards. It's like, cool, right?
Right.
He's had a lot of interceptions, and we all know everything gets
And
amped
they're-
up in the playoffs.
Well, it
And
gets even faster in them.
Yeah.
faster.
That Jacksonville defense
Yeah.
isn't all that bad.
No, and in fact, that game might be 3-2 in a
It-
blowout.
It could be.
Who got the safety?
Flacco
Cleveland.
threw behind him.
All right, we're going to make up the fastest 3 minutes in all of sports. Green Bay at Dallas.
Dallas.
Without a doubt. All right, Chargers, number 6 seed at Detroit.
Who?
No,
I mean Rams. I see that stupid logo.
right.
The logos are so similar.
No, they just play a couple of weeks ago. They had a great shootout and everything else, but I'll take the home team. Detroit.
I'll take Detroit all day long in
Yes.
that game. And here's a good matchup. Philadelphia, the 5 seed, based on our picks. All right. Having to go to Tampa Bay. And Philadelphia's not been playing good. Tampa?
I don't think it matters. I think Philadelphia goes down there. And
I read an article where they were talking about that locker room is divided. Like
The Philadelphia locker room?
Yeah, they said that
I
AJ
can
Brown
imagine.
might have an issue, Sirianni, etc. But in that game, definitely Philly.
Yeah.
But anything past that, it stuff will come out.
Anything can happen down in the great sombrero. I know they don't play in the sombrero anymore, but
I was there, Norwood, wine
I
right.
used
Sorry,
to
buddy.
love that stadium.
Uh,
Still here.
I am here all night long. All right, where do we go?
That's it.
That's it?
That is it for our show. We've covered every game this week. Thanks,
Roman,
Brad,
I'm
for
here.
being on the
Thank you
show.
for having me, Floody. It's
Yeah,
always
I
a pleasure.
love you, brother. He's the man.
Yeah, Brad.
I will
Love
be
you,
here
Brad.
on
Sunday.
Sunday.
Thank you, Roman, for
Depends.
doing the behind the screens.
Yep.
Roman
Thanks
in
to
the
our
house.
producer.
He is
Thanks
in the
again to
house.
Mad Maddies for having us. I'm Brad Michaels for First and Mad, and we'll see you guys next week as we talk about the first week of the playoffs, wild card round, right here on First and Mad.
Come on, move rooms such. Some would say that boy right there is touch. Do we maintain? Nah, not too much. Situation getting too hard to clutch. Yep, it feels like I fall and it can't get up. I gotta hold my head, man, I can't give up. I really